All Because You Matter. Written by Tammy Charles. Illustrated.
Yeah, but decent. Not quite as much as the last time.
Yeah.
You guys were rowdy.
Do you like the movie? Okay. So do you play this stuff you said in the movie?
No, it's irregular mostly. However, next month I'm doing Wednesday nights. Every Wednesday night for the whole month in March. Yeah.
Our chalice lighting words today are by Viola Abbott. We are Unitarian Universalists. When we lift up our 7 principles, some of us think of them as a form of theology, but they are more important to our collective than that. They do not tell us what we should believe, they tell us how we should be. They tell us how we should act in the larger world and with each other. We are brought here today by the fact that Unitarian Universalism has fallen short of the image that was presented to the world and to many of those who embraced this religion. But we are also brought here today by the truth that Unitarian Universalism has shifted course to move toward a place of wholeness, a place that perhaps never existed for us as a denomination. It has been a long and sometimes unforgiving road to today. But we are here today because we are mindful of that past and because we have hope for the future. We want the practice of this faith to be a fulfilling manifestation of its promise. Open your hearts. Seek new ways of understanding. Come, let us worship together. I did not light the guide candle in advance, and I regret that now. There we go. It's coming. Okay. Welcome to the Unitarian Church of Lincoln. My name is Andy Larson, covering for Kathy Disney this morning. Our settled minister, Reverend Oscar Sinclair, is on sabbatical and away from the pulpit until mid-June. I am joined on the chancel virtually this morning by Kiana Dene Perkins. Kiana Dene Perkins is a student at Starr King School for the Ministry. She is currently an intern for the Southern Oregon Partnership. She aspires to center the tenets of the Unitarian Universalist faith in the fight for collective liberation. She lives in Ann Arbor, Michigan with her 2 teenagers and loves to be outside in nature. Over the last few years, the way we have met has often changed. But whether in person, on Zoom, or on a YouTube live stream, or some way of being that we cannot yet imagine, worshiping together is a chance to deepen our connection with the sources of meaning in our lives and to proclaim who we are and what we are about, throwing open the doors of our congregation and proclaiming the radical love and welcome that is at the heart of our faith. The Unitarian Church of Lincoln aspires to be a loving community, uniting reason with spiritual exploration to transform ourselves and our world. We have a big vision here, and we know that creating a loving community begins with welcome. So whether this is your first time here or your 500th, if you came here hopeful or heartbroken, whatever your age, gender, skin color, whomever you love, you are welcome here. As we enter into worship, take a moment to center yourself in this place. Find a comfortable place in your body. Take a few deep breaths, and let us continue with singing together hymn number 153 in the gray hymnal, Oh, I Woke Up This Morning. Julie is going to help lead this song. Please stand as you are able.
Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I was walking and talking with my mind stayed on freedom, walking and talking with my mind stayed on freedom, walking and talking with my mind stayed on freedom. Hallelujah. I was singing and praying with my mind stayed on freedom, singing and praying with my mind stayed on freedom, singing and praying with my mind stayed on freedom. Hallelujah. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. Woke up up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Thank you, Julie. Our time for all ages today is a video. So if the young and young at heart would like to come forward and hang out, now's the time.
All Because You Matter. Written by Tammy Charles, illustrated by Brian Collier. They say that matter is all things that make up the universe. Energy, stars, space. If that's the case, then you, dear child, matter. Long before you took your place in this world, you were dreamed of, like a knapsack full of wishes, carried on the backs of your ancestors as they created empires, pyramids, legacies. Building, inventing, working beneath red-hot suns and cold blue moons, thinking of you years ahead, because to them, you always mattered. On the night you were born, stars sprayed across the sky, each one full of light, hope, love, and all the moments in your life that would matter. Like your first steps, bare feet planted on cold floor, hobbling, wobbling, toppling, only to stand and try again. Or your first words spoken almost like a lullaby, notes climbing a ladder to the sky. Mama, Papa, Mahal Kita. Or the first time you opened a book, like a mirror staring back at you, and really saw yourself. Same hair, same skin, same dreams. The words and pictures coming together like sweet jam on toast, musica blasting through barrios, sun in blue sky, all because you matter. But in galaxies far away, it may seem that light does not always reach lonely planets, covered moons, stars unseen, as if matter no longer exists. And just like moons hidden in the dark, there will be times when you too will question your place in the universe. Like the time you'll hear the teacher call your name, Hossam, Uzuamaka, Yordani, and the whispers and giggles begin, followed by, what kind of name is that? Or the time you'll see a letter, big, bold, red on the page, and you will question if you and your work and your effort matter. Or the time when your pop-pop turns on the news and you see people everywhere take a breath, take a stand, take a knee. And you hear Pop Pop's whispered prayers as another name is called. Trayvon, Tamir, Philando. And you wonder if they or you will ever matter. But did you know that you do? Did you know that you were born from queens, chiefs, legends. Did you know that you are the earth? That strength, power, and beauty lie within you? Did you know that you are sun rays, calm like ocean waves, tough like montañas, magic like stars in space? And on the day the universe was created, you were thought of, dreamed of, carried like a knapsack full of wishes as planets, stars, moons took their places, making room for you, your people, their dreams, your future, all because since the beginning of time, you mattered, they mattered, we matter, and always will. The end.
Our next hymn is 1051 in the Teal hymnal. Please stand in body or in spirit.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and the sons of great deep. We're seekers of mercy and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are.
A central part of our service is the time we join together as a community to mark the moments of our lives. We share with one another our joys, our sorrows, the events that mark the journeys of our lives. Our joys are shared and magnified. We are comforted in our sorrows. At this time, I invite you to speak into this shared space or type into the chat your name or the name of another you wish to be remembered in sorrow. I will repeat the names spoken aloud here for those in the live stream, and I will read from the chat the names that are written there. Rita? Leanne. The earthquake in Turkey. Syria. Those in Ohio affected by that chemical spill.
I've been thinking all week in sorrow and in hope that last I was here, none of us in this time, in this space, said Tyree Nichols.
Tyree Nichols.
Thank you.
Amy Miller says her friend in Omaha, Sally Waters, is in hospice after a long struggle with cancer. Barbara Pearson is concerned for her brother Bob in hospital again after a fall. Joy is also a part of our community life. I invite you to speak into this shared space or type into the chat your name or the name of another you wish to be remembered in joy. Maverick and Olympia. Valentine's to everyone.
Joy for the people who showed up at the film yesterday when we watched the documentary 13th.
Joy for the people who showed up to watch 13th here yesterday.
Pen pal reveal today.
Oh, pen pal reveal today. Judy's excited.
17-year-old Colin is doing well with inpatient cancer treatment at the Buffett Center.
17-year-old Colin is doing well with inpatient cancer treatment at the Buffett Center in Omaha.
Tommy Winters went flying this week.
Tommy Winters went flying this week.
Well, the state legislature, there's a lot of sorrow there. I personally feel uplifted by the thousands of people so far who have come to speak on civil rights bills of all types.
Joy for all of the people coming to testify in the legislature on civil rights bills.
Canine rescue teams that have showed up in Turkey. You got to say I need canine.
The canine rescue teams that have showed up to help in Turkey.
Joy for the direction in which we all are headed.
Joy for the direction in which we all are headed. Towards justice, we hope.
Amen.
Let us lift up all these names and those just as keenly felt but unspoken, and hold them within the care of this community in a moment of shared silence. We have a few more joys in the chat. For the A Street Band, who worked so hard for Thursday, for having the beautiful accordion music back, agreed, and for Gabriel, who turns 25 today. Thank you for your presence. Please remain seated as we sing hymn 1002 in the Teal hymnal, Comfort Me.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Let's go back to comfort me. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul.
Each week, we take up a collection to support the work of this church and our partners in the community. We do this because just as we all grow from our participation in this community, we all give back through our time, our talent, and our treasure. As the next piece of music is played, will the ushers please come forward? You may also text your offering to UC Lincoln and the amount to 73256. That's UC Lincoln and the amount to 73256. The offering will now be gratefully received. Our reading today is When I Go Back by Jekaran Alaya. When I go back, it will be different. Lifetimes lived and lessons learned, and wisdom born from taking risks. My return is time travel, a past of cold mornings, red clay roads, and trying over and over again. A presence of quiet nights, fresh pavements, and giving more and more. The collision of the past and present, hurling through space and time, brings me here, anticipating a beginning, unknown and unfamiliar, and an ending, safe and free. When I go back, you may not see me as I am or becoming. Our sermon is pre-recorded by Kiana Dene Perkins.
Hello, my name is Kiana Dene Perkins. I am a UU ministerial aspirant. I'm excited to be serving your community over the next few months, offering a series called Manifesting Liberation. Today we will begin with the intersection of Unitarian Universalism and Black identity. Manifesting Liberation, Black History Month. Before I begin, I need to call my comrades, elders, and ancestors into this space, making it holy, making it a temporary home. As a spiritual practitioner, my practices include being in dialogue with all of my relations, past, present, and future. As I begin writing this reflection, I realize that you too might benefit from walking with me. So this reflection will be a Sankofa journey. First, we will create a container that can hold us for the journey. Then we will explore the lives of 3 Black Unitarian Universalists, and that will lead us to a dream space to think about the future. Let our Sankofa journey begin. Let's build a shared framework or a container for our time together. Let's start with defining the Ghanaian concept of Sankofa. Sankofa, which is often represented as a bird whose beak is looking back over its shoulder, is a call to learn from our ancestors, to make the world a better place for now and for future generations. It literally means to go back and fetch. The Sankofa directive is also the goal of our shared journey. We are seeking out the wisdom of our Black UU ancestors and elders so that we may apply it to our faith going forward. Another word I think worth framing is Black. When I say Black, I mean big, big. Anyone with lineage that crosses over the continent of Africa. Those who remain on the continent, those who were kidnapped, those who experienced bondage on other shores. The African diaspora. We need to drill down even further. We need to name the unique creation of Black Americans, a people who were created as a byproduct of knowing Africa, of knowing enslavement, of knowing the impact of white colonization and white supremacy in their marrow, of knowing how to thrive despite every obstacle. Now, to be clear, I am not glorifying resilience as it's commonly used. You know, resilience as a response to adversity. I am speaking to resilience as a response to relentless physical, emotional, social, economic, and spiritual terrorism. I am reclaiming resilience as a pronouncement. Our death is not an option. Finally, let's add the concept of collective liberation to our framework. The term collective liberation is best explained by my siblings at Enfleshed, a healing practitioner collective whose mission can be summarized in 5 words: spiritual nourishment, faith, justice, and delight. They have gifted us this word, feast. Collective liberation, its wisdom is born from the edges, the fringes, the liminal spaces. It's always evolving and or returning and or emerging through relationships and new encounters. It is always incomplete. Collective liberation is a labor of love, justice. It is global. It is an outcome of transformation. It rejects individualism, celebrates collaboration, and acknowledges the difficulty of the fact that we need each other. What a powerful lens. In this way, collective liberation is not about the pronunciation of freedom upon someone else. I declare you free. It is a person claiming their own freedom from a place of wholeness. I am free. And it is the knowing that the I is always held in the we of community, the we of village, the we of communal obligation. The knowing that my personal freedom can only be maintained in the interconnected web of we. It is the shift in and out of the singular and the plural as a spiritual survival imperative. I share these definitions for two reasons. First, I need to make sure we are always talking about the same people. Too often we gather all the shades of brown in a container and attempt to hold them to a monolith. I am disrupting this monolith narrative. Blackness in America is its own flavor within the diaspora. Next, Black people created from the American slavery experience function in two places, the individual and the collective. Our language slips in and out of the we and I. Our lived experience is in the we and the I. I and we are testaments to our dual identity. We are always Black, American, children of the diaspora. I and we marks us as dual citizens who, with one code switch cipher, can bounce to whole other worlds. If we are to journey together, you will need to see the I and the we that is always lingering in the telling of Blackness. So with all of this knowing firmly in place, let's explore the lives of these three extraordinary people. Ancestor E.E. Brown. E.E. Brown attended Episcopal Church growing up in Jamaica, but as a teenager, he realized he could not reconcile the idea of God with the doctrine of the Trinity, and he eventually found Unitarianism. His family moved to the United States so he could study at Meadville Theological School in Pennsylvania. In 1912, he became the first Black man ordained in the Unitarian Church. However, no American Unitarian congregation would have him after he was ordained. He returned to Jamaica to establish a Unitarian church in his home. I need to pause here to grab my own personal Sankofa thread. I am aware that after 111 years, I am worried about the same thing Reverend Brown faced, rejection from the denomination I am hoping to one day serve as an ordained minister. 111 years, same fear, same church, and I am holding that deeply. But back to our journey. Eventually, Reverend E.E. Brown returned to the United States. The Unitarian Association refused his request to start his own church. Instead, he founded the Harlem Community Church in 1920, which was Unitarian in its beliefs, but not affiliated with the larger denomination. Here, in the depth of his ministry in both Jamaica and Harlem, we can find the wisdom we can carry forward. We can find our Sankofa thread. Reverend E.E. Brown, for Reverend E.E. Brown, the work of faith was always intertwined with the work of justice, one informing the other, moving in rhythm, faith and activism, coexisting and co-thriving. Reverend E.E. Brown persevered despite racist treatment by our church. His ministry exemplifies our Unitarian principles of justice, equity, and compassion in all human relations. In his resilience, I hear, no, I will not die. Next, we will explore the wisdom of Elder Mark Morrison Reed. Reverend Mark Morrison Reed is a self-labeled integration baby, coming of age at a time of cultural and social transitions. In 1954, the Reed siblings were the first Negro children dedicated at Chicago's First Unitarian. Elder Morrison Reed was ordained in 1979, the 18th person to receive ministerial fellowship in the Unitarian Church, the Universalist Church, and the Unitarian Universalist denomination. First Black UU born and raised to become a minister. In 1980, he published the game-changing book, Black Pioneers and a White Domination, opening the UU world to the contributions of pioneering Black UUs. Reverend Dr. Morrison Reed has had a dynamic career in Unitarian Universalism. In 2019, Reverend Morrison Reed received an award for distinguished service to the cause of Unitarian Universalism. I was attending my first GA in Spokane, and the room was electric with respect and energy. And I stood so proud on that day to be a Black UU cheering on Elder Mark. He is now retired after 26 years in co-ministry with his wife, the Reverend Donna Morrison Reed, and spends his time researching, writing, teaching, and giving preaching, largely about Afro-Americans in the movement. In this vast and depth of Elder Mark's personal and professional ministry that we can extract our Sankofa thread. Reverend Morrison Reed is always unapologetically Black and unapologetically Unitarian Universalist. He comes whole and he leaves whole. In his being whole, he gives others space and permission to do the same. Using his voice as a minister, he speaks to help the larger community find ways to integrate into the denomination and within itself. He is very clear on this point. Integration is inevitable. There was no other way, never was, never will be. He is not calling for assimilation, the process of becoming something else. His aspiration for himself and the UU faith is integration, the intermixing of people or groups previously segregated. The work is both internal and external, deeply personal and very political. In his resilience, I hear, I was never dead. Lastly, I want to hold a bright light to the life of my comrade, now ancestor, Elandria, who I will call E. This is a hard one. E was not a person I read about in a book or someone I saw far away on a stage at General Assembly. E was a friend and a mentor. From our first meeting, we bonded and entered into a covenant of mutual care and respect. E was a lifelong Unitarian Universalist who was raised in the Tennessee Valley UU Church. E spent the greater part of their life working tirelessly in multiple movements, campaigns, and organizational efforts that centered justice. E's personal, spiritual, and social weaving was also prominent in their work with DRUM, diverse, revolutionary, Unitarian, Universalist, multicultural group, and also a co-founder in Black Lives, a Unitarian Universalist. E also held many roles within our UU government's framework. In 2017 until 2020, E served as co-moderator of the UU denomination alongside with Reverend Dr. Barb Greaves. For a point of learning, the moderator serving as the chief governance officer of our association. They preside at general assemblies and at meetings of the board of trustees and executive committees, not a small job. E served in the difficult period after former President Peter Morales resigned unexpectedly and moderator Jim Kay, with whom E was close, died suddenly. It is with a heavy heart I share that E passed away unexpectedly in 2020 due to medical complications. The impact of their loss is still being felt in the hearts of their family and community. Finding E's Sankofa thread was hard, but after a while I understood why. E's life, dedication, and ministry was the manifestation of Reverend E.E. Brown's dream for the Unitarian Church, and E is also the integrated hope that Dr. Morrison Reed names. E was always unapologetically Black and unapologetically UU in all the spaces they claimed. E was a tireless advocate for targeted and oppressed people. In E's ministry, I can hear the echoes of ancestor E.E. Brown. Activism and faith coexist and thrive. It is a resilience that says, no, I will not die. In E's work, I can hear the echoes of Elder Morrison Reed. Integration is inevitable. A resilience that says, I was never dead. And in my own memories of E, I can hear their echo, a resilience that says, my legacy will transcend death. So much beauty, so much heavy. So how do we move forward? What is the future of Unitarian Universalist? I am reminded of the magic of Sankofa. It is not to make something new, but rather to remember the good that has always existed. For me, when I gather up these lives, these threads, when I stand in Sankofa, seeking out the best to take back, I am greeted by the prophetic words and teachings of E. E was always dreaming beyond right now, always prompting us to think about you we were leaving for future generations, to think about the I and we of today and the I and we from 20 years from now. In 2020, alongside Reverend Dr. Barb as UUA co-moderator, they issued a call to action regarding the impending work of Article 2 Study Commission. From the charge, the board believes that one core theological value shared among UUs is love. Our commitment to personal, institutional, and cultural change rooted in anti-oppression, anti-racism, and multiculturalism values and practices is love and action. Did you hear that? Not love from a place of fear, guilt, shame, or anger, not love as performance or performative allyship, not love born out of white supremacy, not love as erasure or calls to assimilate. We are being called to love, to be love in action from a place where we are whole and holy. The work of the Article 2 Commission has been happening for the last 3 years. We are slowly moving into the next phase of mass education and marketing of the proposed changes leading to the 2024 GA vote. You will continue to hear the words of E. You will hear them at the end of this service as the benediction. You will continue to hear that the foundation of this faith is love. As we close, I am quietly chanting the personal charge that E issued. Solid as a rock, rooted like a true tree, we are here standing strong in our rightful place. And I know we are solid as a rock in who we are as Black UU people, rooted like a tree in our orientation to justice. Thank you, Ancestor E.E. Brown. We are here. We have always been here. Thank you, Elder Reverend Morris Reed. Standing strong in our rightful place, centering love and action. Thank you, Elandria. May these and all of the Sankofa threads you found today grow, hold, and heal our hearts. Ashe and Amen.
It isn't right for too many falling. They say it's in the name of the greater good. Oh, we lost sight. World is getting colder. What happened to the words for which we once stood? I will stand for you. Would you stand for me? Everybody deserves to be free. I would lend a hand to you. Would you lend a hand to me? Everybody deserves to be free. It's close to 9, but I leave a candle burning. Your way home won't give up the fight. Story isn't over, no. I won't let you walk all alone. I will stand for you. Would you stand for me? Everybody will stand for you. Would you stand for me? Everybody deserves to be free. And I would lend a hand to you. Would you lend a hand to me? Everybody deserves to be free. I will stand for you. Would you stand for me? Everybody deserves to be free. And you would dance for me. Said everybody deserves to be free. And everybody deserves to be free. And everybody deserves to be free. Yeah. Oh, yes.
We are worthy, not because of what we produce, but because of who we are. We are divine bodies of light and darkness. You are not worthy because of what you offer, not because of what is in your mind, not for the support you give to others, not for what you give at all. We are worthy and are whole just because. In this great turning, in this great pandemic, in this radical readjustment and alignment, we are not disposable. We are needed. We are the very people that have withstood everything that has been thrown at us as a people. And as Maya Angelou would say, still I rise. We rise from the pain. We rise from the grief. We rise from the limits people place on us and the limits we place on ourselves. We rise to be the children and the ancestors. We rise to be our true selves in relationship to our families and communities, recognizing our liberating and whole selves, honoring them and others as we strive for abundant communities, abundant lives, abundant relationships, and abundant values and cultural manifestations. We are worthiness personified. We are worthy and deserve a life where we are not always fighting for our existence. Imagine what we could create if we were not always in the struggle. Imagine what we could envision if we could just be let to just go there. So tired of always having to resist, to fight, demanding, pushing to everyone that has the courage, the power, the ability to co-create what we want and need while rooting in what we can't lose and who we are. You are the visionary. You are the hope. You are our ancestors' dreams. No, you might not ever end up on some list somewhere, but you are on a list in someone's heart and mind. And if it is, and how you move in the world so people can see by example, you are the embodiment of what we need. Thanks to all that are that embodiment. The embodiment not of productivity, but the embodiment of radical love, care, and sanctuary. It's time, y'all. Embodiment time. Embodiment, living one's values out loud. Let me every day live my values out loud. Let us every day live our values out loud, embodying our values, not a productivity quotient. Beyond productivity, past productivity, true embodiment. Life.
Thanks, everyone. Go in peace.